I decided to take another route. I decided to hold off on my second installment of my first book, The Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1. I'm currently working on The Game of Life, according to Volume 2, according to the Iceman Volume 2. And I'm not ditching the book, but I'm going to work on something different. Uh, I had I've been getting a lot of feedback in my ear about doing a book specifically about dating and how guys can get out of the friend zone, how guys can work their way out of not getting any ass, and basically squaring up and getting their dollars up and getting their head right so they can come at these females properly. So I'm writing a book. I haven't uh, I haven't decided on a title, but it's definitely going to be uh, the Player's Bible. It's going to be the Player's Bible, and men and women are going to be able to use this book interchangeably. If you're LGBTQ, you're going to be able to use this book in your endeavors with the same sex. So everybody's going to be able to read this book and say, "Damn, he's got some shit in here for everybody." But it's going to be a very comprehensive and psychotherapeutic approach. And I'm going to get into some historical reasons why black men have turned to simping and tricking, and how black men and women have gotten out of the entrepreneurial spirit as it relates to creating black owned businesses and using those businesses to provide jobs to our people, as well as building an economic base where a social structure, upward mobility, and political power being built on top of that economic power. You can't have anything in America without money. You can't have anything in America without knowing the economics, whether they're microeconomics or macroeconomics. You have to be able to understand how economics affects your entire world around you. Everybody has a micro global sphere, and you have individuals within that sphere. They're your family, they're your teachers, they're community activists, they're boyfriends, girlfriends, friends. I already said family. Could be friends and family that live in another city, another state, across the country. You have your own world. And how does economics affect your world? You're going to have to figure that out. And I'm going to put it in plain text and street vernacular, just as I did for The Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1. I made it easy so even the street cat can read this book. And by the way, this is the face of my book. This is the front side of my book. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this here. This is an excellent book. If you got any family or friends that are behind the wall, please purchase my book, the paperback version of my book, either from AskTheIceman.com, which is my official website of The Iceman Show, or you can go to Amazon.com and order my book. Now, if you order it directly from me at AskTheIceman.com, I will autograph the book, and then you give me the person's address behind the wall that needs to be that needs the book, but you're gonna have to pay postage. You have to pay for this now. So I can sign it, and or I can sign it and send it back to you, and then you can handle the logistics from there. That's probably the best thing. Let me sign it, send it back to you, and then you work on sending it to your loved one or friend behind the wall who's either in jail or in prison. This is a must-have book, especially if that brother and sister, you think you feel like you can help them when they get out. Give them some footing. Because let me just say this here before I get into the topic of this video. One of the things that hurts black men and women is that we have no resource. When we're born into the world, we have no resources. We got parents, but we ain't got resources. We don't have no resources. Most of the black folks that have been entrusted to take care of us, a lot of times they ain't nothing but shucking and jiving ass niggas. Trust me, I can tell you from my own experience. It took me 40 years to find out my dad was a coon. Okay? I actually knew earlier that he was a coon, but I just didn't want to admit it, that he was a coon. But thank God I got people like him out of my life, and I no longer have to deal with coons unless I really want to. Ain't that right, Stevie? You got a lot of Stevies out here, man. I'm telling you, you got a lot of Stevie niggas out here. Okay? I got an uncle down here in San Antonio that's a coon. And an Uncle Tom. Man, anyway, I ain't even gonna get into talking about that stupid ass nigga. Anyway, so if you have a friend or loved one that is in prison or in jail, and they're gonna be there for a minute and they need some books to read, please buy my book and send it to them, because I talk about everything going on in America between about 2010 to 2016. I'm talking about white supremacy and racism. I'm talking about Black Wall Street. I'm talking about the psychological warfare dynamic between black men and black women. I talk extensively about simping and tricking, but in the new book, The Player's Bible, I'm going to be I'm going to go into the mental health side of how black men got where they are and black women have gotten where they are. And we're going to I'm going to present the hypothesis to you. I'm going to present all of what we as black men have been doing wrong as far as dating. So we're going to put our dirty laundry out here, but the last 50% of the book, I'm going to talk about solutions. So it's going to be a part 1, and there's going to be a part 2. And that part 2 is going to talk about how, okay, I identified myself as a simp and a trick, or both, in part 1. In part 2, we're going to talk about how to get out of that. We're going to get this simping and this tricking out of our systems. Because, believe it or not, a lot of cats don't want to admit this, especially like some of these church niggas and these nigga nerds. A lot of cats don't want to believe that Donald Trump is actually going to indirectly help black men. And let me tell you why. Let me tell you how. First of all, there's been some congressmen who have been contacted by men's rights advocates to put another bill out there to demolish that welfare to work bill and that Nazi child support act, the Child Support Omnibus Act, to dismantle that law and make it and change it around to where instead of taking, like say if you make $2,000 a month, that they can't go and take $500 of your goddamn money just to take care of one goddamn kid. Now, you know damn good and well when you and your wife or you and your girlfriend lived under the same roof, it might have cost every month, it might have cost about $100 to feed that kid, especially if they under 5. What the hell are they eating? What they eating, a whole big bag of Cool Ranch Doritos in a day? It don't cost no 5. What is this motherfucker eating? Calamari and fries every night? What is this motherfucker eating? How the fuck is it costing 25% of my pay and your pay to take care of a motherfucking crumb snatcher? You explain that shit to me, bruh. Sisters, can you explain that? You're going to have to answer for putting that Nazi white man's bullshit system on your ex-husband or ex-boyfriend. Sister, you're going to pay for that. You're going to pay for that later on in life. Don't even get me started on that shit. So white men's advocates have been going to congressmen and saying, look, man, when Trump get in there, we need to get another bill in there to demolish this child support thing where they're sitting up here taking 30% of somebody's pay and modify it, make it fair between both parents, and then say, okay, here's what we getting ready to do. We're going to audit how that money is being spent. How you going to sit up here and take that kind of money out somebody's check and then not have checks and balances in place to make sure the money is being spent on the kid and not going on hair and nails and taking care of other children or going on car notes? I've heard women talk about, oh, my child support check, that pay my car note. There's no way I could have got a car, I could afford a car without child support. I'm like, bitch, I wonder what you gonna do when that child hit 18. Because ain't gonna be no more goddamn money. Trump's gonna help you. I'm not saying he's there to help you. I'm saying it's about to get deep. Why you think these women's groups, these feminists, these staunch feminists are complaining about Donald Trump, talking about he's an affront to women? No, he ain't. I don't see Melania bitching and complaining. Donald and Melania Trump, a.k.a. Boris and Natasha. I ain't heard Natasha say shit. I don't see no lumps on and knots on Melania Trump's head. So things must be real groovy over there at the Trump household. These bitches are full of shit. Okay? Let me explain something to you. Donald Trump's presidency, here's what one of his legacies are going to be. Putting white men back to work. What do you think that means? That means if men get their sack back, that means these feminists are going to start losing nigger trinkets. Now, this video ain't about Trump, and this video ain't about feminism or any of that stuff. But I just wanted to put some of those thoughts out there because I want that to marinate on your brain, especially you young bloods. You young bloods, you young sisters who are going to be the next generation. You need to know that this stuff is coming down the pike. Feminism is getting ready to get dismantled. And the main, because you have to understand, one of the main reasons why a lot of these, well, it's not the main reason. The main reason is they've been shipping these jobs over to India, Philippines, and China. That's the number one reason, and NAFTA. Those are the one and two reasons why you got white men who are out of work. Now, the number three reason is that a lot of gains that women have gotten, I guess we really didn't see it, but now we see it because you look at, 60 Minutes and you got all these white dudes in Pennsylvania and Ohio talking about they ain't got no jobs. And these guys is like, man, what am I going to go back to school for at 45 years old? These guys ain't the kind of guys that can you know, get into going to college at this stage in life. It just ain't in them. These are guys that probably been working since they were 13. School ain't never been no big deal to them. Their grandparents worked in them Ohio and Pennsylvania factories. Then they went in there. They said, "Hey son, hey daughter, you want to work at GM? Yeah, why not? You're making 25 an hour. Hey, let me work there." So you get your son or your daughter in there, and then their kids work at GM. But they had a nice life. Yeah, sometimes they ain't like to work, but they had a good life. And those jobs got taken away from them. And what did they do? They replaced them with high-tech equipment, and they started sticking women in them jobs. No, they took the jobs away and sent them overseas. And then they tried to make everything, you know, this touchy-feely computer-based technologies, which these guys don't have no idea about. So you had a lot of administrative jobs that popped up. You might have a factory in China, but the administrative office is over here. And it's all women in the office, or half women. Half the women in there work for the company, and they're full time. Y'all see where I'm going with this? So they're going to have to dismantle feminism, and the simping and the tricking is going to be obsolete by default. It is. By the way, I may go ahead and start the Iceman show on Blog Talk Radio this Sunday. I got to look at the schedule and see what playoff games are going to be this Sunday. They're going to be nothing but wild card games. So I'm going to try to fit the show in on Sunday somewhere in between the afternoon games. So we're going to try to do that. So since these are nationally televised games, everybody's, you know, the games are coming on at the same time, despite, time differences. So that's what I'm going to do. I have to get everything done tomorrow. I will do a video and let you guys know tomorrow whether or not we're going to have a show on Sunday afternoon. So I'll let y'all know in advance. Because some guys be like, "Yo, Ice, man, you didn't even tell me you was having a show, dog. What's up?" So look for me to post a video talking about the show on Sunday, and I want y'all to tune in, and I'm going to give y'all the call-in number and the time. So I want you to, adjust your schedule so you can, be part of the Iceman family and be part of the discussion. I definitely want all the players to call in. Also, I want to send an invite out to a couple of players. Last Crucible, hey man, we might disagree on a couple of things, but Young Blood, I want to bring you into the fold. Whether you interested, let me know. Shoot me an email. Let me know if you want to be a guest speaker on the show. I would like to talk to you outside of the offline and talk to you about what you want to do going forward professionally. I know you had told me a couple of years back what you were doing, but just let me know what you want to do, player. I know you disagree with how I do things, but I just want to say to all the players out there, look, man, a lot of research goes into what I do. I'm putting these 2 master's degrees to work. I feel like with all the education I have and life experience and the wisdom that I bring to the table, if I ask for some form of reimbursement from you guys, whether it's, selling my books, whether it's later on, I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I'm not gonna put that out there just yet. Let me finish this thought. I do it because I feel like the research, I'm talking about the research, the work the time that I put in researching this stuff and giving you very technical and very complicated material and breaking it down and being able to give it to you. I feel, if nothing else, you should be willing to go to AskTheIceman.com and drop $15 in the bucket of donate. I'm saying donate. I ain't talking about doing a subscription show. I'm talking about cats nominating a topic. Say, hey, I want you to do a topic on tricks in San Antonio. Well, donate, $20 and we'll go from there. We got to start learning. You got to start respecting people's education and people's preparation and people's investment in what they do. I'm not just standing there just talking shit off the dome. And it sounded to me like a lot of you cats got a lot of hate and a lot of jealousy in your heart. You need to do something about that, man. I'm not TD Fakes. I'm not Creflo Big Dollars. I'm not Reverend Peaches. I'm not Bishop Eddie Jones, aka Reverend Peaches. I'm not trying to get rich, but I do need to be reimbursed for the research time I put into this shit. That's one of the reasons the Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1, took so long to get released, because I was trying to make sure I got up-to-date information in there. I had information in there that was 5 or 6 years old, and I said, no, they're going to read this shit and be like, man, what the fuck? So I had to go back and put all of the updated stuff in the book. Okay? I had to put all that stuff in there. And I'm going to do the same thing with Volume 2. But I'm going to put the Dating Bible out there first. That's going to be the book that I feel it should have more mass appeal. Because a lot of the cats, they send me, they say, Ice, man, when you going to do a book with nothing but dating? I know, I bought your first book. I got the Kindle version of your first book. Great book. But, man, you only talked about simping and tricking and dating at the last maybe 30% of the book. When you going to dedicate the whole book to, brothers getting out the friend zone, brothers getting that simp gene out they DNA. I hear you, brothers. I hear y'all. Okay. Want to give a big ups to my man Human Paradox up there in the Metroplex. Hey man, make sure, definitely, brother, I want you to call in and tell us what's popping in your life. I hope everything's going on great for you, young blood. Let me see. There's some other cats. Wake the hell up. My NY homie that's in Las Vegas. Hey, if you got some of that cannabis sativa, bruh, give me a couple puffs, and blow it out the window for the bros that ain't here. But big ups to all the young bloods that been having my back for the past 6 years. My homeboy, my U.S. Navy homeboy, Super Sea Dragon. It was a couple of Oaktown sisters that was riding with me for a minute. I definitely want y'all sisters to weigh in on the conversation on the Blog Talk Radio deal this weekend. Let me pay my money and get that popping, and then we gonna get it. We're gonna get back on Blog Talk Radio, and we're gonna talk about what's wrong with black people, but we also gonna talk about what the solutions and how we can fix and move forward. And yeah, I know some of y'all be like, oh man, Ice, you always talk about building, black businesses. Yes, brother. That's how you build power in America. How you think these Asians have gotten so fucking powerful in this country? They don't vote. Asian people do not vote. 70% of Asians in this country don't vote. You know why they don't vote? Because no matter what, they have insulated themselves economically. They don't need to vote. You don't need to be part of that charade if you have your economic platform. We don't. We depend on federal jobs, and we depend on federal and state aid, whether that's welfare, whether that's SSI, whether that's bitches out here trying to get child support, welfare, TANF, EBT cards, and under the SNAP program, under the Department of Agriculture. Section 8 through HUD. Every time you look around, you black folks are dependent on something that's state funded or federally funded. Or you got the federal government is the largest employer of black people in this country or worldwide. That's not a good thing, especially if Trump gets in there and decides he wants to downsize all of the federal agencies and cut their budgets. You better look out. Anyway, let me get in this video, man. I done ran it long enough. This video, we gotta start talking. We gotta start breaking some shit down, man. Cause it was one brother that left a message under the. Let me see, which video was this? That he might have been my last video. A brother left a message under the for the devaluing vagina. No, on the spare dick video. And he was like, I don't understand why more people aren't listening to this guy. He was referring to me, the Iceman. And to answer your question, brother, if you're listening, one of the reasons why a lot of my viewership has fallen off over the years, because I used to have like 3,000 or 4,000 subscribers. The reason why, one of the reasons why people fall off from listening to me is because one of the reasons is I'm not a coon. And my show has morphed into an information platform from what it was back in 2010 when I started. And the problem is that, according to a lot of these brothers and sisters, my show was better back then. Well, that's because a lot of the stuff I was talking about was off the dome. So it might have been more comical. I got a lot going on, a lot more than I had going on back then. And I was still evolving into the man that I am today. And instead of those people rolling with me, regardless, because there's a message here, these guys want to, it's like these guys keep sending me the same messages or posting the same replies to responses to videos over and over again, whining about the old video. Oh man, when you gonna bring back the old videos? Let me explain something to you. Here's what's gonna happen with the old videos. First of all, I have to get them copywritten, or get all of them copywritten. There's 600 and something videos that I did during that period that have to be cataloged, and most of them are copywritten through the Library of Congress. But I haven't done all of it, and that's not really a priority for me right now. So I get guys telling me, oh man, I don't want to listen to your show until you go back to the old format. I said, you know what, dude, you ain't here for the right reasons. Bye. Bye, nigga. Bye. Tell your ass. I could care less. I'm not trying to please everybody. And I definitely don't want to please nigga nerds and coons who just troll by and want to hear something funny. This show ain't for you, dog. Don't sit up here and try to talk shit and leave nasty fucking responses. Just don't listen. Just don't listen. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, motherfucker. Don't nobody give a fuck about what you don't like. I remember I did a video back in 2002 called Anatomy of a Simp. And I had at least 3 simps try to report their video, talking about I was being offensive. And every time YouTube said, we don't find anything in this video that's offensive to any group. 3 times. These guys are begging me to do videos on simps, and I make one that really cut deep, and them niggas couldn't take it. They got butt motherfucking hurt. They couldn't take it. Oh man, probably say, oh man, this nigga's crazy. I don't like what this nigga's saying. Oh, he talking about me. Fuck the Iceman. That's when I start getting messages talking about, fuck you old nigga. Okay? That what I'm getting at, ladies and gentlemen, is this. A lot of brothers and sisters, you young, and it's not just young bloods. I don't want to make this video beating on the young bloods too bad, but I want to say this, yo. The reason why a lot of y'all can't get with the new program is because you are stuck. You are stuck emotionally, and you can't move forward. So now that I've become more refined, and I'm putting more. I'm not just speaking off the dome. I'm actually doing some research, getting my ducks in a row. Then I'm making a video, and maybe it's not as funny as you would like it to be. That's too fucking bad, dog. This is not a comedy show. I'm not a comedian. And that's why I say, quietly scurry off into the darkness. Nobody wants to hear your fucking complaining. Because when you do that, you bring the bitch out of a lot of other nigger nerds who are on the verge of bitch assness themselves. And that this turns the tide of the tone that I'm trying to set. The difference, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm getting at here is that a lot of these brothers and sisters have no wisdom. At some point, I am going to catalog and copyright all my old videos and get them pressed so that I can sell them. Because a lot of guys was like, man, if you just put your video, just do a professional job and get all your videos on disc and then sell them as a package to the public, I will buy. Okay, we can do that. But right now, brother, I got too much on my plate and I got health problems I'm dealing with, bruh. I'm running 2 businesses. I already don't get no sleep, man. The only reason why I do these videos is because the things that happened during my lifetime, during the day, I feel like I need to share this shit with y'all. It is helpful to me. And I know it's a hell of a lot more helpful to you. Plus, it lets you know what's going on. Because cats will send me emails like Super Sea Dragon every now and then. He'll send me an email and be like, "What's going on, man? What's poppin'? What's up? What's up, Ice Man? You ain't doing the show no more. What's going on?" And these cats been rolling with me for 6 years now. So like I said, big ups to Super Sea Dragon and Human Paradox. What's my man's name? Mad Scientist Jay, him and his lovely wife, man. Big ups to them down there in H-Town. Shit, man. Who else? I got some dogs out there. Oh, my Navy homeboy, I forgot his name, up there in Seattle. He's a California cat. Who else? Damn, I forgot my man's name. If you know who you are, man, send me an email, man. Get at me. Let me know how you doing, brother. Damn, who else? Shit, man. My man, everybody that's following me on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's the Iceman Show. Get at me. I got my picture on there, so you should know that's me. I haven't been posting lately because, like I said, I've been working my ass to death. I've been really this hot and cold weather's been fucking with me, and I've just been trying to get a lot of underground stuff happening so that I can and I'm buying music equipment, so I think I might start producing again. I've been approached by a couple people to get back in the studio and start producing. So, but I want to do it at my leisure. I don't want it to be somewhere where motherfuckers is bugging the shit out of me like they used to do back in the '90s. Trying to get motherfuckers trying to get me to produce. Anyway, because I hate the industry anyway, so I don't really want to be dealing with that shit again. Anyway, man, I know I'm rambling, but um, ladies and gentlemen, look, you young brothers and sisters need to get some wisdom. Everybody, let's go back to the beginning. According to Erickson, Freud, Beck, a whole lot of so-called psychologists, pioneers, it's been said that there's not a problem with that we're all smart unless we're developmentally challenged, which covers retardation or some type of traumatic brain injury or malformality. Barring any of that stuff going on, everybody's considered to be smart and intelligent. Okay? And you can see that when they're an infant. Most black babies start holding their heads up at 2 months, sometimes 1 month old, compared to other races of children. And believe it or not, Caucasian kids, they don't gain what they call it, fine motor skills until almost 1 year old. And I know because I've worked at child cares when I used to be a education major. Okay, I pay attention to the black kids. The black kids are way ahead of the white kids, but you could tell the white kids, their intelligence gets the framework for their intelligence gets built in a different way compared to us, because maybe their parents have the resources and the time to make sure their children are academically adept, whereas black people are just existing. And when you're existing and barely getting by because you don't make good decisions, you're probably going to be dependent upon the state or the federal government in some kind of way, and you're going to work low wage jobs that take all your time, and your only focus is to get enough rest to get up to go to that job. You really, all the shit that happens in between, you don't even give a fuck about. And it's really, and that's really where we are as black people, and that's one of the reasons we need to get away from affiliating ourselves with political parties, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. Like I said, if we have an economic framework and a foundation to stand on, we don't need to kiss no politicians' asses. Okay? Asians, they don't fuck with Asians. They don't fuck with Jews. You know why they don't do that? Because they got backup. And they have the money and the power. If they get disrespected by the system, they can punish the system. Whereas all you're going to do is march and get sore feet. Yes, you're smart. Yes, you're intelligent. But how do you weigh that versus wisdom? Smart and intelligent is listening to videos I did 4 years ago and saying, damn, the Iceman really said something that resonated with me, and I was able to get a laugh out of it. Okay, fine. That's fair. But it's not 2012, brother, sister. It's 2017. It ain't about where you were 5 years ago. It's where you're at right now, goddammit. And that's what makes you wise. Because if you had wisdom, you wouldn't keep asking me about the old video. Especially since I've addressed that issue, I don't know how many times in the last year and 2 years. I've said when I get to dealing with the old shows and the old videos and putting them together to where I can sell it to the public, there'll be a time and a place for that. Right now, this is not a time and a place. That's not a priority. Wisdom would tell you that. That's why I say, brothers sit up here talking about, is it really about intelligence? No, it isn't. It's about wisdom. Because if you have wisdom, you know not to keep asking me about the old videos when I've addressed it I don't know how many motherfucking times. When it comes to looking at justice and injustice in America for black men and black women and children, you sit up there and see, you got dumbass black people who sit up there and look at that election and say, oh, look how, black people lost an advocate in Hillary Clinton. When we all know that to be bullshit. Hell, the Clintons went down there, the so-called Clinton Initiative, their foundation, they went down there to Haiti after that massive earthquake. They went down there and they claimed they were going to spend those millions of dollars that they raised on building houses and streets and getting Haiti back up on their feet. You know what those Clintons did? They went down there and manipulated the Haitian government. They went and tried to, I don't know if they actually bought the property or they were trying to buy the property, but it was revealed that the Clintons sat up here on their dead asses and was trying to open an industrial park and bring all their corporate cronies in there to make money. So, and then I saw some footage. I actually saw some footage of Hillary Clinton taking some corporate people on this tour of this area. It was some nice real estate. There was already some industrial buildings over there, and they were planning on buying that and turning it into a what's called a tax-free commercial zone. They have that in the Dominican Republic and some of these Central American countries. And so what they'll do is they'll go over there and the government will say, hey, if you bring these companies here, we'll pretty much give you a sweetheart deal, no taxes for 10 years, damn near free labor, and long as you bring me some blonde haired white girls and a blunt and a bottle of Hennessy and a bottle of Martell cognac, we cool. That's what kind of deals these leaders be cutting in these countries, these corrupt ass countries. And they'll go over there and build these commercial zones, and these American companies won't be paying little to no tax to the country. They just want they want the jobs, and they just want to be able to say, hey, we brought some American companies over here. Y'all see where I'm going with this shit? Wisdom says that based on the behavior and the actions of the Clintons over the last 30 to 40 years, wisdom would tell you not to vote for Hillary Clinton for president. But yet a lot of you closet simps and tricks and you Aunt Jemimas and you bedwenches went out there and voted for Clinton because you feel she's an advocate for LGBT folks and black people and black women especially. Hillary Clinton has never been an advocate for black people. She has never been an advocate. That book that she wrote, It Takes a Village, she stole that from that African proverb. Okay, it kills me how Hillary Clinton hasn't done shit for children in this country, let alone white kids, but damn sure not no black kids, runs around this motherfucker trying to act like she's an advocate for children, and this bitch ain't done a goddamn thing for children other than play like she done some shit. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here, man. Wisdom would tell you not to vote for Hillary Clinton. Wisdom would tell you that I probably should support the Iceman more than I'm supporting his show because, you know, let's face it, I know sooner or later he's going to say something I don't like. So wisdom would tell me that I should reflect on what he said that made me uncomfortable and continue to roll with the Iceman. Instead, what I get is cats whining about, oh man, when you gonna bring back the old videos? That's not wise, because it's not reasonable. Something is not reasonable means it's not the wise thing to do. Wise people don't join Black Lives Matter. Wise people go out here and support black-owned businesses. That's what smart people do. Instead, we got a bunch of black folk out here who are smart and intelligent, and they spend their time on bullshit like this that doesn't push us forward. And yes, that's a real book. You don't believe me? Go look it up. And look what color the little boy is. Think how many moist little boys are going to get that book growing up. You're not concentrating on the right thing. LGBTQ issues aren't black issues. Black issues should come first. LGBTQ issues shouldn't even be on your list. I don't care if you are a lesbian or a homosexual. Because at the end of the day, your ass is black. You might not like that. Because as soon as you say something or do something them white gays don't, and them white lesbians don't like, here's what happened to your ass. You get a boot right in your ass. So let's get real, black people. Are you wise or are you just intelligent and smart? Wise people do wise things. Smart, intelligent people who really don't have any wisdom keep doing the same shit over and over again. And saying the same shit over again. Why? Because they're not wise. And they should be. The time you get to OG status should be about 35, maybe 40 years old. You should know better. You're smart and intelligent. You've lived your life. Look, I got married once. Have you ever heard me ever say something about being married, getting married again? No. Because that's not a wise thing to do. Wise men don't get married. Wise men don't build resources and then turn around and gamble with those resources by getting married and under the same unjust laws, marital laws, in damn near every state. The worst offenders are Florida, New York, Connecticut, and California. California is the worst state to get divorced in, and New York. Those are the two worst states, in Florida. Fuck out of here. Yeah, I'm smart and intelligent. You already know that. But am I wise? Yes. Because I wasn't dumb enough to go get married again. I've been divorced almost 20 years. I've been single. I've been an unrestricted free agent for damn near 20 years. That's wisdom. Wisdom is knowing that marriage is bullshit. It's legally set up and arranged. All marriage is a consenting, legal business arrangement that says I can act on your behalf without any interference from outside. I can act on your behalf if you're incapacitated or incoherent. That's all marriage is. It's like not you don't have to sign a power of attorney. I can act on your behalf and you can act on my behalf. That's why when you have these instances where you have the father getting remarried and then the new wife is protective of the husband and she tries to shut the kids out and make it look like the kids ain't nothing but a bunch of vultures. I know you guys seen that shit in your families before. Let's get it straight. Why wisdom is knowing that marriage ain't gonna work for me. Wisdom is putting myself in a position where I'm not being taken advantage of like that. Marriage has nothing to do with love. It has nothing to do with it's not sanctified. It ain't got nothing to do with God. It ain't got nothing to do with nothing but the law of the state where you get married or divorced. Men get married to get unlimited amounts of pussy. Women get married so that they can steal economic resources from you. Most women ain't nothing but economic mercenaries. That's all they are. And yeah, there's some that claim they ain't. Do you think I'm gonna sit up here and marry them just to see if they are? Shit. Fuck out of here, man. They got a show on TV now called Married at First Sight. Got these motherfuckers getting married, having their parents pick the fucking wife or the husband. Can you believe this shit? Does that sound like does that sound like a sacred union? That sounds sacred to you? Having your mom and dad pick your goddamn husband or your goddamn wife? Are you fucking kidding me? The fuck out of here, man. It literally, these people show up on the day they get married. They don't know what this motherfucker look like. This motherfucker might not even have an upper lip. They don't know. Their parents are supposed to find the closest thing to what they want. Can you believe this shit? And these motherfuckers talking about that marriage is sacred? How the fuck is marriage sacred and you doing that shit? Marriage is legal. That's what it is. It's a legally binding agreement. That's what it is. It ain't gonna never be anything more than that. We can put religion on it. We can say, oh, you swearing before God and all this shit, trying to scare motherfuckers. Look, man, none of that shit means anything. The fact of the matter is, wise men don't get married. That's it. Plain and simple. Now, fortunately, one thing that I didn't have to beg for was pussy. I got way more than my share of ass when I was married. That's one thing I didn't complain about most of the time. But under most conditions with most men, that when they get after they get married, they start getting no sex, especially if that money is funny. A lot of you closet simps are sitting here listening to all these channels, and you've been listening to these channels for, I don't know. I didn't get hip to YouTube until maybe 2007. That's when I got hip to YouTube. That's 10 years. So some of you guys were looking at YouTube before then. I think YouTube really started jumping off in like 2004, 2005. I didn't know about YouTube. And when I found it, I was fascinated by it because all the old football videos, footage of different football players was on YouTube. And some of you guys been listening videos. Some of you guys sit here and listen to videos all day long. And you're still not a wise individual. You're smart, you're intelligent, but you're not wise. Because wisdom, you would have took some of the game that was being kicked on some of these videos and you would have become that wise old owl. Instead, you're just a young guy or young female on YouTube wasting time. You have no wisdom. You're just sitting there wasting time. Because anytime you learn something and you're able to apply it to real life, you become a wise female or wise male. But when you sit here and talk to me about me posting old videos, which it's just the most asinine thing to ask somebody to do. What the fuck? That shit don't even apply to 2017. But it's just like this brother said. He said, "Ice, what it is, man. You turn this into a, your show is like a sword that cuts going and coming, and a lot of these little weak little nigga nerds out here can't take it. They can't take it." I had a guy who contacted me, and he said, I need to start getting monthly psychotherapy. And I said, well, for what? And he was like, man, I got a serious weight problem. I'm like 300-400 pounds overweight. I don't even want to show my face. And I was like, dude, I said, man, you ain't got nothing to be embarrassed about, man. If you really want to do something about this, we're going to have to, I'm going to have to hurt your feelings a little bit. And at first he was like, oh man, I could take it, or ain't no big deal. Ain't nothing that you can say that, I know you ain't going to try to insult me, but I listened to your show, and, you seem like one of them kind of cats that you couldn't see kind of no nonsense. I said, look, man, I'm just telling you the truth as it's presented to me. That's all I'm trying to do, brother. So the first month, didn't really make that much progress. Second month, started seeing some progress. But then at the end of that second month, this dude, I could tell he just wasn't putting no effort into it. And he started making comments like, well, kind of like trying to make it like I'm supposed to do all the work. I said, look, I'm not the client, dude. You are. It's not my life. I don't need to lose 300 pounds. And he would, he just started acting like a little kid. It was like I was dealing with a 3-year-old. What was your diet today? He lie and say, oh, I just started off with the banana like you said. And then 2 or 3 days later, he's telling me, I actually ate a whole loaf of bread. I actually took a whole loaf of bread and made sandwiches out of it and just kept eating. He said, I'm 400 and something pounds. And he said, and then he canceled his for the third month. The payment went through PayPal. It went through, and then we had a session right after the thing, and I was talking to the cat, and he was just really being negative, and I was just like, dude, what's up, man? I mean, do you not want to do this or what? And he was just like, man, I don't appreciate you throwing my obesity in my face. I said, what you mean throwing? Because basically I was using cognitive processing therapy, which CPT is you have to expose the client to whatever it is they're trying to not, to their way of thinking. It's like you have to keep reevaluating the trauma or what's wrong, and he didn't want to do that, and so he tried to go on PayPal, and he filed a dispute with PayPal saying that I did not provide him with said psychotherapy services, and it was a slap in the face, man. And I called PayPal, and the lady was like, "Well, did you deliver? Did you have a session with him that day?" And I said, "Yes, I did." She was like, "Well, case closed," and they put the money back on my account. And he sent me an email just talking shit, talking about, "Oh, Iceman, you didn't do what you say you were gonna do. That's why I canceled." And I didn't get mad that he canceled. What made me mad was he gonna sit up here and have me doing an hour session with him, and then he gonna turn around and try to fuck me out of my money. That was not cool. But then a couple years later, he sent me an email, video email, and he was like, "Man, look, Ice, I bought the book, I read it. It was like, man, I apologize for my behavior when we were doing therapy. I mean, we cool now." But it's guys like that, man. Look, I know some cats can't take the truth, but man, brothers gonna have to wake the fuck up. Look, man. We get. Let me tell you something with Donald Trump. Yeah, a lot of stuff Donald Trump is doing is scaring a lot of people. But I'm gonna tell you right now, if you really look closely, it's about to pop off. Some shit about to pop off economically, and if you really want to ride this wave, you need to pay attention, because I'm gonna tell you right now, opportunities getting ready to be presented to you, and if you got the education and the wisdom, you're gonna be able to grab hold to that surfboard and ride the wave. Otherwise, you're gonna still be in your grandmama's basement or in the attic sleeping on a racing car bed. If that's what you and talking about you getting disability, you got niggas. Here it is, damn near 12 years after Hurricane Katrina, and you got niggas still living in FEMA trailers. You got niggas still living like that. They still displaced. And I'm just like, damn, dog, it's 12 years removed. What the fuck? You still ain't tried to get somewhere and get settled with all that federal money out there? You still, living in some room somewhere with some motherfuckers you don't know? Get the fuck out of here, man. Man, you had people all over the country offering places to stay, especially a lot of white folks in that were in religious organizations. It's like, man, come, it was people offering to let folks stay. I was living in Austin then. And sometimes I would ride my bike downtown and then ride the bus back to my apartment. And or when I went down there to the University of Texas, I would be on the bus with my bike, and cats would be, all these New Orleans people, man, they was real nice people. And I met a few of them. They like, yeah, we living with somebody, with the Lutheran church, and they letting us live there, and they letting us get our stuff together, and we getting the kids in school. And you know what, man? It's all right to take help from people, but I'm real leery about taking help from people because I've allowed family to help me, man, and I swear to God, sometimes the worst people are fucking family. And I got them now that I done got out of the hole, and I paid that $10,000 lesson or learned that $10,000 lesson. I got cats who will say to me, how come I ain't trying to help, some of those family members? I'm like, first of all, you can't invite somebody into your house and then fuck over them and shit on them, and then people don't see that part of the equation. All they see is you not wanting to have nothing to do with them people, and they like, oh, that's fucked up. Cousin so and so helped you out. Yeah, cousin so and so helped me out, but cousin so and so also kicked me in the ass the whole time I was there. You don't get the chance to mistreat people just because somebody needs help and they're living in your house. I treat people good when they live with me. But you can best believe there's going to be a day and a time when you're going to have to move on like you've been spit on. I ain't going to let somebody live in my house indefinitely. You're going to know how long you're living here. Now I try to explain that to people. I used to let, especially young guys, I used to, man, especially in Austin, in a college town. Shit, man, some of them University of Texas students that lived in I used to live in a big ass complex. They probably had 800 units. They were so big that they had a fucking river that went between them goddamn apartments. And you had to cross a bridge to get on the other side. And man, them dudes, man, I had all kind of Alpha Phi Alpha frat brothers that lived in there that went to the University of Texas at Austin. And man, them cats, if I didn't go to class and then work, I had cats come over, man, they'd be like, hey, Ice, man, I'm about to get evicted, man. I said, hey, man, you can sleep, you can sleep on my futon, but I would never give them niggas a key because, I didn't want them niggas running in and out my house. So I said, here, you can sleep here, you can eat here, you can wash your ass, and you can use my washer and dryer. But beyond that, you ain't getting no key. So I would tell them niggas, hey man, I lay down about 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock, dog. If you ain't here, bruh, I ain't waking up. Shit, motherfucker be beating on the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. I tell them, hey man, look, I'm gonna get up this time, bro. What I tell you? Oh, I know, OG. Them nigga be next thing you know, that nigga be in there, nigga in there calling hoes. Okay, but that's what I do, man. I always stuck my neck out for the young bloods. Man, I got kicked. I wouldn't sit there and talk shit to them. I just be like, hey, man, there was some guys that lived upstairs from me that had no food. I told them niggas come down there eat at my house. Like, damn, this nigga making food like my mama make, man. I'm about to come down this nigga out. This nigga making oxtails and shit. This nigga got a roast over here and fucking, motherfucking stew and shit. All them niggas always come down to my crib and eat. That's how I was, man. I was like the OG. It was like, oh, man, let me talk to the old wise. Let me talk to Yoda. Okay, I was a wise. Them dudes treated me like the wise OG. A lot of you niggas, man, you don't never get out that apprenticeship level. You don't never get out that level, man. Because y'all niggas so busy trying to hate on somebody, you don't get wise. Wise men take the time to learn and perfect the game. While you niggas are sitting around playing video games and you got your cock in your hand, you're too busy playing around. And then when shit get hard for you, then you want to run them motherfuckers like goddamn you want to run around this motherfucker talking about, Hillary Clinton save us. Hillary Clinton ain't finna do shit for you, but make your life even more complicated. But you won't say nothing bad about her ass. But then you'll turn around and shit on my show. Or you'll send me an email talking shit, calling me an old nigga. Motherfucker, get on my goddamn nerves. Okay? Get sick of that shit. Motherfuckers always up here thinking that Hillary Clinton, some old Democrats, gonna save their ass. Let me read something that I posted on let me break something down real quick. I gotta scroll down and retrieve this thing I wrote. I wrote something on Facebook, and it really speaks to what I'm talking about in this video. Actually, this video has is all over the place, and I really hadn't intended for it to get to that place. But there's a lot of stuff on here that and if I can pull it up, I'll read it. And it really speaks to what we are doing here, and why you should be you should see what's going to happen next as an opportunity, especially after Trump gets into office. I actually can't wait for Obama to get out of office. I'm really ready for him to get out of office, because I just feel like he ain't done nothing but wasted black folks' time. Okay, let me read something that I posted on Facebook, and it really speaks to what this video should have been about from Jump Street. But let's get into this real quick. Here's what I wrote. A friend of mine of the Iceman show, the Iceman Unchained, asked me recently why a lot of young brothers who listened to the show back in 2013 are now talking shit about the direction of the show. Remember, I addressed that earlier in this video. This is because young black men and women do not respect manhood and wisdom. The proper progression for a child, adolescent, and teenager is apprentice level. Apprentice level is at the age of 4 to age maybe 14. And journeyman or woman from age 14 to 22. Let me explain what I mean by that. Between the ages of about 14 to 22, most people have their first job. Well, back in my generation, and these last couple generations, that's probably not the case. But my first job was when I was 14. I'm talking about a job where I was using my social security number and paying taxes. Okay, started at 14. Okay, between the age of 14 and 22. Okay, that's journeyman level. Between that time, you're learning about girls. You're learning, you're sowing your wild oats. You're trying to learn about girls. You're trying to learn about men, about boys. You're at that level where you really need to be having some strong guidance, so that when you get to the mastery level, which is age 21, 22 to 35, this is where you start building wisdom from what you learned as an apprentice between the ages of 4 to 14 and journeyman between the ages of 4 to 22. See, this is the progression that I went through. By the time I got between the age of 22 to 35, I was mastering stuff, not just job skills, because that's important too. A lot of you young brothers are 22, 23, 28, 30, 35 years old. You have absolutely no skill that you have mastered, whether it's electrician work, plumbing, aerospace engineering, whatever it is, or you being a pilot or a teacher, or you haven't mastered anything. And that's why a lot of you young brothers are lost and you have no direction. And then the rest of you guys they're trying to be petty criminals and going in and out of jail and prison. So now you got multiple felonies. So between the ages of 14 and 22, you're out there fucking up. So by the time you get to the mastery level between the ages of 22 to 35, you're smart and intelligent, but you're not acting like a wise individual. You're out here chasing women when you know that there's no future in that shit. Wise men don't chase money. Wise men chase money, and women chase wise men with money. That's how it works. You have to pay the cost to be the boss. You can't. Let me just say this. Here's what a smart and intelligent person, namely a brother between the ages of 22 to 35, when he should be mastering some type of job skill where he can go from one company to another and still make the same amount, if not more money. We don't do that. What we do is we fuck around and we take our chances. And we take our chances with Hunky McGee. Hopefully Hunky McGee won't fuck me. That's our mentality. So we might have a job that pays $15 an hour when we're 25, but then by the time we're 36, we done lost that job because we were chasing the big booty white girl and shipping, receiving, or you were out of your department playing around up in the offices when you should have been back there on your drill press. Instead, you in the office is grinning and cheesing in all the white bitches' faces. And then white boys got tired of it, called your supervisor. Next thing you know, your ass is out of there. So you're starting over on jobs, your finances and the economics of your micro world, your little world is always topsy-turvy. There's always turmoil going on because you haven't mastered anything. Y'all see where I'm going with this? So your situation is totally turned topsy-turvy, and instead of you mastering anything, you can't move on to the next level, which is OG status. You can't get to that level because you're stuck damn near at the adolescent level. You're damn near stuck in the apprenticeship level from 4 to 14. See, this is based off the generation my mom and dad was in. This applies to somebody where education is not that important. You had to get out there and earn enough money to buy your food and put some clothes on your back, or according to what my parents used to say, put some rags on your back. My dad had to start taking care of himself at 13. Let's just get down where the rubber meets the road, young players. That's why your life is so turned upside down, because you have no wisdom. You don't have a parent in the home that has any wisdom. Most of these black women don't have no wisdom. And most of you guys don't have any contact or very little contact with your fathers, and he ain't got no wisdom because he's stuck at the apprenticeship or the journeyman level, and he's 50. When you get to OG status, which is where I am, and you're a wise old owl, you're 40 years and you're 40 years old plus. Once you reach OG status where the Iceman is, you are supposed to be wise. You are supposed to possess wisdom. The problem is most of these young males and females have never sat at the feet of wise men and women. I had the pleasure of sitting at the feet of wise men and women in my family. If you do not subscribe to my show, that is fine with me. However, you will forever be relegated to the apprentice level of emotional development, which is one of the contributing factors as to why your ass is not successful in America and running your dusty ass overseas thinking you can relocate to Brazil and live out the rest of your days sipping tropical beverages on Copacabana Beach as you get cranium from a beautiful Brazilian woman, and you don't have to work. Nigga, use a fool. Nigga, kill yourself. Okay? Kill yourself, nigga. Got these silly ass niggas getting on Facebook talking about they gonna go to Colombia and find some dime and bring her back over there or whatever. Or they niggas on Facebook paying for pussy and then coming on Facebook talking about these, my girl I got down there in the Dominican Republic, this Andrew, I forgot what this nigga's name is. Man, this nigga is paying for a bitch's apartment. Okay? Soon as you cut the corner and go to Las Americas Airport in Santo Domingo, that Juan and Sancho and them are gonna be like, what did the American Negrito? What did Negrito leave for? So we can eat good and live good. They over there wearing your clothes and shit, and then when the bitch know your ass coming back, then she go wash the shit in the sink. Oh look! Oh, by the way, I need dineros. I need leche for my baby. Fuck out of here. Know what I told a bitch that I met one in one of them Central American countries? When we exchange email address. You know what I told that bitch when she told me her baby needed leche? I said you better put him on one of them titties and let him suck one of them titties. Oh, that bitch got mad. She called me all kind of black motherfuckers and shit. You black hija de puta, all this old shit. Fuck you, bitch. That bitch was a Colombian, pretty ass Colombian. Okay? I fucked that bitch all night. I got my money. I got my time worth out of that bitch. Okay? Leche for my baby. Hey, get the fuck out of here with that old poverty shit. Bitch try to give me the po mouth in Espanol. See, wisdom told me not to send that bitch no money. That's what wisdom does. Because I know that bitch is lying. She ain't nothing but a hoe. She ain't nothing but a stank hoe. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Wisdom should tell you if somebody trying to act like there's free pussy out there, they lying. Ain't no free pussy out here. There ain't no free ass out here, guys. I don't care if you black or whatever. If you roll up on one of these foreign women, you're going to have to pay. You're going to get taxed. Because even if they was going to give you some free pussy, as soon as you start speaking English or that fucked up Spanish that you learned in school, right off the bat, they're going to take you to task. Okay, they're going to be like, nah, I need some money, nigga. Oh, no. Nigga, you from America, you rich. They see us all as being rich. Okay? So stop with the bullshit, man. Stop with the bullshit, players. Stop with the bullshit. Black people play too much. Black people play too goddamn much, man. We play too much. We focus on dumb shit like this instead of focusing on this shit. Watching these motherfuckers or watching this motherfucker. Y'all keep on playing. Keep on playing. So the point I'm trying to make to you is this. Wisdom would tell you that there ain't no free pussy nowhere around the world. And no matter where I go, people going to expect me to be rich. Wisdom would tell me that my homeboy is lying on Facebook talking about all the ass he's getting. Because like I said, I done taken these guys to task. And I've said to him straight up, hey, nigga, you trying to act like you getting some free Colombian pussy? No, you ain't, nigga. I got a sorry-ass brother down in Curacao. And this nigga whining to my cousin in Houston talking about he can't get no pussy down there because he an American. No, you can't get no pussy in Curacao because you a trick. You walking around the island with your shirt all open. You walking around with smoking cigars and all this old kind of shit. Them native people don't like that shit. Yeah, they'll grin in your face because they want you to buy their fucking fruit off their fruit stand or their vegetable stand. Or buy their little souvenirs that they done made like a fucking paper airplane or whatever the fuck they want we making, and you act like you can't get a paper airplane back in the States after they get through getting their money from your ass. They're like, get the fuck out of my face, American. You ugly American. So he down there acting like a fucking fake ass rich man, and them bitches don't want to be bothered with his ass. So he whining talking about, man, I need to come back to the States so he can pay another bitch to go on a fucking $3,000 cruise with his ass. This nigga done took two bitches that he didn't fuck before he went on a cruise on a goddamn cruise. And one of the bitches almost reported his ass for rape. He gonna bring her on a cruise, and when he trying to consummate the goddamn trip, this bitch talking about, oh, I didn't come here to fuck you. So this nigga gave a bitch a 7-day cruise, and this trick ass nigga, and he didn't get no pussy. But he didn't tell me that. But he told my cousin. And cause he could tell my cousin in Houston everything. And he was talking about how dumb this nigga is. I said, yeah, he dumb. I said, what nigga would do that? You gonna go on a goddamn cruise and not tap that ass before you went? The only woman I would ever go on a cruise with is a woman I done already fucked. If I ain't tore that pussy up yet, that bitch ain't, man, I wouldn't put that bitch on a rowboat. Okay? I'd be like, bitch, you roll with that oar, I roll with this one. This ain't no free goddamn trip. You want to get over there on the other side, bitch? You better get to rowing like you on Ben-Hur, bitch. Fuck out of here. There's too many dumb niggas out here, man. See, a wise man would never take a bitch on a cruise. And I'm gonna tell you something, my brother think he's so goddamn smart. That nigga, he'll sit there, he'll talk so much shit. Put everybody down, just offend everybody. Oh yeah, I'm getting ready to start flipping houses. I'm getting ready to do this. And all the, everything he does, motherfuckers go to jail. And some sneaky way, he don't end up in jail. Okay? This old fucking leech ass nigga. So he down in I ain't never went to a foreign country and not got no pussy. With the exception of being in the Middle East. I have never gone to a country and not got no pussy. Not when I was there for leisure. and not business or military business. I got ass, especially in Latin America. There was no way I wasn't going to go leave there without getting no pussy. But let me explain something to you. You're going to have to pay for it. Yeah, I got a couple of chicks to give me some pussy. I fucked a few bitches for free in Brazil. But everywhere else I went, them bitches was like, oh, I need some money for my goddamn babies to get some leche. Oh, they gave me the Pope mouth. And you know what I said? Get the fuck out my room. You should have got your room before I busted a nut. Get the fuck out my room. Some of the bitches I just gave $20 and said, get out my room. Because I wasn't going to spend no more than about $20 or $30. I had bitches talking about, oh, you need to give me $100. I ain't paying no $100 to fuck you, bitch. Yeah, some of them bitches was fine as hell. They were dimes. I still wasn't going to pay that kind of money. Some of them bitches stunk. Yeah, they were fine, but they pussy stunk. Some of them bitches pussy smell like clam chowder like a motherfucker. Okay? But look what kind of bitches you dealing with, man. You dealing with foreign women who ain't got, their priorities ain't the same as yours. Them motherfuckers be starving. You watch the Vice channel. Man, they be having some unbelievable shit on some of them fucking shows. I be like, God damn, I didn't know motherfuckers was that poor. Got motherfuckers sitting up here stealing gas from one country and then coming over to Venezuela where they live at to sell gas because the gas is fucking, for a liter of gas is fucking $8. There's shit like that going on in some of these countries. Motherfuckers ain't got the basics. And some of y'all ain't got the basics. It's not because you're not smart and not intelligent. It's because you're surrounded by people who have no wisdom. Don't beat me up because I was fortunate and blessed enough to have people around me give me wisdom and the rest of the people fuck up and I was able to learn from their fuck ups. Because I was younger than those folks. I learned from my dad being a simp. He's paying for it right now. Because his wife has got dementia, and you know when somebody has dementia, it's just a certain length of time before the brain totally shuts down, and those people are damn near vegetable. I don't know what stage she is because I don't talk to my dad. Because my dad tried to fuck me over on some shit. And then me and him fell out. So I said, fuck you, dude. You a fucking hater and you're a simp. I straight up called him a simp. Give a fuck if he took me off my trust fund. I could give a fuck. I don't need no help from nobody. Whatever I can get it on my own, dog. I don't need his fucking help. Oh, you gonna help me and I'm in my fucking 60s? What kind of shit is that? I'm already in my mid-50s. But see, let me tell you something. If my mom knew half the shit my dad was doing after she passed, she'd be rolling in her fucking grave. Because my mom told my dad to take care of her. Make sure you take care of my kids. My dad, he couldn't wait. He couldn't even let my mom get cold in the ground before he starts simping. Then he go get this below average looking woman and she just treated his ass like shit. As soon as all the faking and the fronting he was doing, and the money that it looked like he had some money coming in, and then he lost money on that $1 million house, she cut the pussy off. As soon as he stopped taking her on luxury cruises around the world, they was going on cruises to Europe, they were going on cruises through the Panama Canal, all this shit. As soon as all that stopped, he said, man, she started sleeping in the other room on the other side of the house. It's a huge fucking house. This house is 3,500 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 2 master bedrooms. The only thing I didn't like about that house, that really I don't think it was utilized good enough, was it was a 3-car garage. It had a huge fucking garage. Fucking Day had a what's it called? It's called a mud room in Canada. I think they call it a mud room or a sun room. I think we call it a sun room. It was a room that was kind of like had all this plastic or that plexiglass where you can see through the ceiling. I guess they call it a sun room. It was just parts of the house they wasn't even utilizing because it was so fucking big. So she'd be way on the other side of the house, because it had a bathroom in there, so she would never even come out sometimes. She treated his ass like shit, and now she up here leaving the house and wandering the neighborhood and all that kind of shit. He got to go look for. Man, my dad don't need to be doing that in his fucking 80s. But that's what he deserves. That's what he gets. Because he's an 80-something-year-old man and he has no wisdom. Is my dad smart and intelligent? Yeah, my dad can do engineering. He can do calculus and accounting behind his back and blindfolded. But that don't make him smart. I mean, that don't make him wise. Do y'all understand what I mean by wisdom versus smarts and intelligence? Everybody starts out with a clean slate and a brain that is highly functional. But if you're surrounded by ignorant, stupid ass, smart and intelligent people, and you don't learn any skills that you can take to the social marketplace and sell for high wages, then you're considered to be an idiot. You're an idiot. And you're considered to be unwise. Wisdom would tell you, I need to support black-owned businesses. Wisdom would tell you that when you see this kind of shit in a Macy's, this is being marketed to some idiot that's considered to be smart and intelligent, but he's not wise. Why would you promote gang activity by selling a red rag, which constitutes blood? Why would you sell some shit like this? I took this picture when I was in Las Vegas at this is a Macy's, I believe. This is a Macy's. It's got to be Macy's because I don't think I went in Dillard's. I don't think I went in there. But this is Macy's. And I've been meaning to put this picture on one of my videos and talk about this. They got a red rag and a pair of Levi, I think they might be 501 jeans. Can you believe this shit? And as you can see, that whole rack has those red jeans in a red rag hanging out of it. Do you think them white folks at the corporate level and the buyers, do you know how insensitive this is to black people? Yeah, I'm not a gang member. I've never been one, but I know some guys that are Crips. I take this to be offensive. Yeah, first of all, they'll say, oh, we're just trying to make money. Or they'll say that, well, we ordered the jeans, we didn't know that they had a red rag in them. Bullshit. Oh, they'll try to cover it up. It's much like how Hallmark, when they put those greeting cards out for Father's Day, talk about my mom as the father and happy Father's Day to all the mothers. And when brothers from my show contacted Hallmark, you know what their response was? There's an overwhelming demand for these cards, and this is business. That's what they said. That's what they said. In other words, fuck you. But if you decided to open up a store in a black neighborhood and start selling Hitler T-shirts and Hitler's face on the ass print of every jeans that come out of your store, then all of a sudden you're offensive. You're offensive to Jews. Okay, that's offensive to Jews. But those red jeans don't constitute somebody being black. Maybe not, but why is there a red rag in there? I dealt with this kind of shit the whole time I went to school till I started going to white schools in junior high and high school. I got sick of that gang shit. And I saw this shit right here the whole time I was in first part of high school, middle school, and some parts of elementary school. I don't want to see that shit. But this is the game they play. The reason why they can do this is because black people have no power. We can't shut that down. We can't shut Macy's down for that. And we're not going to. Anything that's worth, raising hell about, you don't see Black Lives Matter out there. You won't hear a peep out of them, and you won't hear a peep out of any black men. So they figure they can do that. So ladies and gentlemen, here's my point. Because I need to bring this video to a close. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just say this here. And we're going to start covering this stuff on the Iceman Show. We're going to start covering this stuff on the Iceman Show on Blog Talk Radio. We're going to start putting two and two together and getting four, and we're going to move forward. Because those of you who want to sit and stew in the past, go ahead. If you want to unsub on my channel, by all means, tear your ass. But I'll tell you this: those of you who stick with the Iceman and want to still be in the Iceman family, ladies and gentlemen, we about to make some shit happen in 2017. Roll with the Iceman. We're going to get it done, but we got to start raising money, and we got to start buying up land. There's a lot of land in Detroit that I want to get at. Okay? And a lot of that land is being gobbled up under eminent domain. All them houses is all boarded up and look like shit in Cleveland and Pittsburgh. Let me tell you something. A lot of people have been displaced. Flint, once they get their water situation taken care of, all those empty, they got blocks and blocks of houses that have been abandoned in Flint. See, I ain't been to Flint in 20-something years, dog. I got family in Flint. I ain't talked to them niggas in a minute. Okay? I used to love going to Flint. Genesee County. Here's the deal, y'all. I want to go to Flint and buy up a whole block of that land and just start building low income, not necessarily low income housing, but decent housing for decent people. Because you can some of these places around the country. I've seen real estate on the market that some of it did need some work. I've seen some houses on the market for $10,000. Okay. Some of them, I've been around the Rust Belt looking at property, but some of that stuff needed so much work. I said, man, physically I can't do it. And I can't trust somebody to go and do the work while I'm not there. I need to be there. And some of those properties, man, they were dilapidated, and it was just no way I was going to try to live in some old ass drafty house and try to fix it up while I'm in there. Had some that had broken heaters and shit like that. I'm like, man, in wintertime in Pittsburgh? Oh, fuck no. I ain't finna have no fucking heat. I know what that's like living in Michigan and not having no heat. I had to get down there and fucking, 30-degree, 20-degree weather and fix the heater in our house so my wife and kids could have heat. Luckily, I knew what I was doing. But that's what men have to do. wisdom versus smarts and intelligence. Smarts and intelligence don't mean shit. You live under the system of white supremacy and racism, and brothers and sisters, I'm telling you right now, you got to have more than smarts. You got to have more than intelligence. That's just the bare minimum. You need to be wise. Wise would tell you that every woman you meet, whether you meet them online or you meet them in person, you need to vet this woman. Because if she's not worth your love and respect and your money, then you don't keep fucking around with her. You delete that bitch's number and keep it pushing. Wisdom would tell you to leave that bitch alone if it don't seem like them panties are coming down. But smarts and intelligence and being a slick ass simple or trick would make you keep on trying to press this woman to give you some sex, and she keeps leading your ass on and getting free food, free drinks, and free dating safaris out of you. And that's when you have the guy that calls up the Tariq Nasheed show talking about, man, I've been trying to holler at this honey for 6 months and I ain't got that pussy yet. Well, if you ain't got it in 6 months, you ain't never getting it. And all she gonna do is keep stringing your ass along. And every time you get her along to try to rub on that pussy, the first thing she gonna say is stop, no, and don't. The next thing you know, you walking around the motherfucker with a hard ass dick, harder than motherfucking differential equations. I have wisdom. How are you going to get wisdom for yourself? Wisdom would tell you that the Obama administration has done absolutely nothing for African Americans in America. Nothing. That's what wisdom tells you. Smarts and intelligence will tell you that Clinton was the better choice than Donald Trump. I like some of the stuff that Trump is doing. He's shaking up the auto industry, talking shit. He's already doing. He's already having a major impact, and he ain't even president yet. Yeah, Obama half-ass fixed the economy, the world economy. He didn't need to be in office to do that. Congress could have did that without him. But again, you're in the same spot you were in 2008 that you're in today in 2017. You're in the same fucking boat. Ain't nothing changed under Obama. And I know a lot of cats gonna get mad. I'm glad to see his ass go. I'm just glad he's getting his ass out of office, because black men have been catching so much hell under his administration more than any other president. We have had more police shootings under Obama than we have had under any president. Well, since they've been recording police encounters with citizens and citizens ending up dead. Cops and niggas is still a huge problem in America. But again, did you get any help from Obama with that? Fuck no. Because he was only selected to be president to do what? Maintain the status quo, which is what? White supremacy and racism over the whole entire fucking planet. Wisdom would tell you that that's what's popping off, and that you can sit up here and hope and wish all you want for a Democrat to take care of you. He or she is not going to take care of you, and neither is the Republican. Trump is for the super rich, and he's for getting white males back to work. If any of us get the residual effect of that, so be it. You're going to benefit but you're not going to benefit like white males. White males are angry. The white males want to get their sack back. They want to become the boss so they can pay the cost to be the boss. And while you're sitting around chasing bitches and you ain't got no job and you're wearing LeBrons and $200 Jordans with no fucking gig, they're also going to increase the prison industrial complex. So those of you who haven't mastered a skill, remember we're talking about that between the ages of 14 to 4 to 14, you're an apprentice. Between the age of 14 to 22, you're supposed to be an apprentice, and from the age of 22 to 35, you should be mastering something. And yet we got 30, 40, and 50 and 60-year-old black men walking around this motherfucker being on the news talking about I can't find a job. Nigga, what kind of skills you got? Oh man, I drive a forklift. Do you know how many dumb motherfuckers out here driving forklifts? Nigga, you ain't special. You ain't fucking special. They got dumbass immigrants coming in this motherfucker that they rather hire for that shit. They ain't gonna hire your ass. You a 50-year-old forklift driver, nigga, you sound like a clown. Then we start talking to these niggas even further. Here they go talk, oh man, I did a stint in Huntsville, and now you gotta hear that fucking sob story about how, oh man, I busted my ass, and I was out there in the dope game, and I fucked around and fucked up, ended up in prison. I ain't trying to hear that shit, man. I ain't trying to hear that shit, dog. I done been to jail. You don't want to hear that shit. I done been to jail too. I remember, let me tell you something about falling off, man. Let me tell you something about falling off in this video. When the times that I went to jail and I ended up getting out of jail, you know what? I didn't have pot to piss in. All I had was the rags I walked in there with. And you know what? During that time, because I had a record, because I didn't have no money to take care of some of them cases, I ended up falling off. I was out there living with bitches. I remember those times when I was homeless. I had to wash my drawers in the fucking sink. I would, somehow or another get hold of some Tide, and I'd wash my drawers in the sink, and then maybe I'd find a place to hang my undergarments where they can dry during the day, depending on where I was in the country. And during those times, I felt heartbroken, but at the same time, I knew it was temporary. And all those nights I froze to death. All those nights so hot I couldn't get no sleep. I had to lay in a fucking trailer, a tractor trailer that somebody left the doors open. So I went in there and laid in there, and then, the mosquitoes was eating my ass up. And, maybe I got 2 hours sleep. I mean, there was some nights I had to walk 5-10 miles just trying to find somewhere to sleep so I didn't get fucking murdered. Because let me tell you something. When you're out there on the street and you're homeless, people know when they see a homeless motherfucker. And you know what, man? It's a lot of drug addicts out here, man. I've had cats try to jack me. I've had, I've been out there, bruh. Okay? And let me tell you something, man. It ain't the end of the world. It's just temporary. Wisdom would tell you it's temporary. Smarts and intelligence and lack of focus and the fact that you have not found your purpose will keep you out there broke with nothing. One thing I never wanted to be was the 50 and cool nigga. I did not want to be that nigga. I got too many 50 and cool niggas in my family. And I despise them niggas. I talk about their asses all the time. I got relatives that, get on the phone calling motherfuckers trying to find out who got some free weed. I'm like, nigga, you know what you look like calling your nephews and your nieces trying to get some fucking weed. Man, you sound like a drug addict, man. Go over to the nigga house, he ain't got no pictures on the walls or nothing. Just old dirty ass walls, couches and shit just thrown in the fucking living room. Look like a fucking trap house. I'm like, nigga, you just look like a flop house. This look like somewhere a motherfucker come over here and get high. Tell me, man, I'm gonna sell this house. Nigga, you ain't gonna sell shit with your house looking like that. Looking like a goddamn trap house. Fuck out of here, nigga. Fuck, man. But anyway, this is about wisdom, y'all. You gotta get some wisdom, young brothers and sisters. You know, when you go and try to disrespect old heads like me, you know, man, you can really learn something from OGs like me. I done been in jail, man. I done been in them shackles. I done sat there and laid on a fucking tissue motherfucking pillow. Okay? I done been in a holding cell for 13 hours. I done sat there on that hard ass concrete and and sitting in there in a fucking look like a tomb. And I'm fucking sitting there and I'm saying to myself, God damn, I'm in motherfucking jail. We ain't got no pillow in here. So you got to take tissue that you use to wipe your ass, and it's not good tissue. It's fucking sandpaper. And you try to lay on that to have a goddamn pillow. They definitely make it so you ain't comfortable in jail, in prison. Wisdom will keep you out of jail. I ain't been to jail since. Wisdom taught me that when I went out here and did simp shit, and them females end up kicking me in the ass instead of saying thank you, wisdom told me to move on and learn from those experiences and not let that shit happen again. That's why when I meet women and they say stupid shit to me like, how come you ain't got a girlfriend? Or they'll say shit to me like, when's the last time you've been in a real relationship? You know what I tell them? Shit, it's been 10 years. They're like, oh my God, why is that? I say, you know why that is? Because now I know garbage when I see it. I ain't just looking at good pussy or young pussy no more. That's why I find it increasingly difficult for me to date old women. Date women 45, at least 40, maybe 40 and up. It's difficult for me to date women 40 and up because they're so fucking beat down. And I'm going to get to that on the next video. I'm going to start talking about culture, race, and how that factors in with black men being a last resort when it comes to non-black women. And I'm going to get deep into that shit. That's probably going to be a 2-hour video. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have to get, I got a little bit of chronic left. So I'm going to have to hit that chronic real hard and just, open up and give y'all some of that good shit. Some of that way that only the Iceman is known for. You tuned into the Iceman Show, the Iceman Unchained. We are going back on Blog Talk Radio. I will let you know tomorrow if we're going to be on the air on Sunday. I'm going to try to get these shows, try to do a show in between the two wild card games. I think there's one Saturday, or 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday, I think. I'm not sure. I know there's 2 on Sunday. So what I'm going to do is have the show in between both of those games, because it's going to be a big gap, because I don't think the game's going to come on till about 2 p.m. So maybe we'll do an earlier show, and you know what, hey, as some of you undercover simps, man, stop going to church. Stop being a church nigga. Here you are coming. Because I know niggas be done went to church because they'll send me messages talking about Ice. I didn't know you had a show. I said, nigga, I got a show at 1 p.m. on Sunday. This is when I used to do the Blog Talk Radio show last year and a couple years before that. And they like, oh, I missed your show. I said, yeah, because your black ass was at church. Niggas didn't answer. Because I know a lot of you silly niggas still go to church. Nigga, you might as well be at home looking at some football. Ain't no heaven and hell how the white man gonna tell somebody that there's a heaven and hell? Huh? This is the same motherfucker that, snatched you off that pulled you off your land as a goddamn Native American and made you a goddamn slave. Then they come up with this hoax about the transatlantic slave trade. The Atlantic Ocean water is so choppy, you'll never see a vessel go straight across the Atlantic because it's a death wish. That's why that movie, I got the DVD in here called that movie that George Clooney and whatchamacallit on was The Perfect Storm. Remember that movie? I think it came out in 2000. It had Mark Wahlberg and Marky Mark, whatever the fuck he used to be. They had Mark Wahlberg and George Clooney. Really good movie. And somebody gave me the DVD when it first came out. And so I have the movie. And that's the reason why them guys end up dying, because they went across that horrible fucking water. I mean, you should see some of them waves in that movie. That shit is for real. You don't go across the Navy don't send their ships across the Atlantic. They go up around Greenland and then they go across. They don't fuck with that Atlantic. Just like they don't fly over the Atlantic. There's a reason for that. That's why we know the transatlantic slave trade is a fucking lie. It never happened. Black people were already here. See, basically what they're trying to do is miseducate black folks so they won't try to claim money through the Indian, whatever that Indian Act of 18 whatever, where if you claim that you could be Indian, Tariq Nasheed talked about this, I think, in Hidden Colors 3 and 4. I haven't looked at 3 and 4. I bought 3 and 4. I haven't looked at them. What I'm going to do is sit down on a day I ain't got to do shit, and I'm going to sit there and look at 1, 2, 3, and 4 right after each other. Because I looked at Hidden Colors 1 and 2 probably about 2.5 years ago. I was still in Atlanta then. I don't remember them. I don't remember that much from no video. I gotta look at them again. So, but we are the Native Americans. Indians looked like us. They had a little bit different characteristics, but they looked like us. So we know that's a lie the white man is telling. They're just doing that so you won't try to collect on your money. Because you have to understand, these people that consider themselves to be Indians, them motherfuckers ain't nothing but white folks. Okay, they ain't nothing but honkies. Because I done met Indians in Minnesota that look just like me. That's getting money from them casinos. They look just like us. Nappy ass hair, same complexion, everything. Only difference is they are a tribal member. So we know they're lying to us. The Indians that own Mystic Lake. I met some of them motherfuckers. They damn near as dark as I am. Fuck they talking about, man. They just don't want you to know that you got some trillions of dollars coming. And oh, by the way, Dr. Claude Anderson and his legal team have filed a reparations case in court, and they said the Obama administration are being obstructionists. So so those of you who think Obama's your friend, go ask Claude Anderson. He'll tell you something different. Go by AskTheIceman.com. for information on the Iceman Show, for what's going on in the lives of the Iceman and the Iceman family. If you want to purchase an autographed copy of my book, The Game of Life, according to the Iceman Volume 1, you can go to AskTheIceman.com, scroll down to Add to Cart, and then they'll tell you what you need to do, and I will sign your book. You got to pay for postage, and then I will send the book directly to you. You can also go to Amazon.com to get my paperback book, and you can also get a Kindle version or a general tablet version that would be able to download to your Kindle, iPad, or Surface Pro, or whatever kind of Samsung tablet, whatever tablet you got. They have a format that fits your your instrument or your computer device. So go to Amazon.com and do that, or go to AskTheIceman.com. Also, if you need psychotherapy or life coaching, you have some major life decisions that you need to make, and you don't have anyone to talk to about that, holler at me. I've given some really good advice to some folks who want to try to go forward in life. I know my man D. Fernandez, my New York homie. He's hired me several times to help him. And I tell you right now, that's my dude right there. He's doing really well. Educated brother. He's back close to his home on the East Coast. Got a gig there, making some money. He's flipping them hoes like flapjacks. By the way, D. Fernandez, holla at me, dog. That's what I was trying to remember earlier in the video. Big supporter of the Iceman Show. I love that brother. So yeah, holla at me, dude. Holla at me, man. So but anyway, you can if you need some psychotherapy, man, don't hesitate to reach out to me. Yeah, it's gonna cost you a little cash, man. Look, I paid a lot of money to get these degrees, and I know what the fuck I'm doing. So meet me halfway and pay the cash. I'll work my ass off for you, dog. If you need a business plan, dude, look at my business plans, and dude, I'm telling you, I'm giving you a good deal. A $900 to $1,000 for a $5,000 business plan, in my opinion, by somebody with a graduate MBA degree, dog. I'm always in real time. I'm about to go buy some shares of this cannabis mutual fund. I need to do that this weekend. The shares are dirt cheap. They selling shares to this company at like 50 cents or $1 or something like that. So I got to go on Scottrade and set up an account. But anyway, that's what I'm doing, man. I'm getting ready to do a business trip to try to get knee deep in these cannabis businesses. Not selling or cultivating, doing the agricultural part, but doing some businesses that do business with those cats. So that's about to pop off, man. Look, California and Nevada, once they come online, it's a wrap. It's a wrap, dog. All the other states are gonna fall in line once California gets online come this year, September. So California and Nevada will be online by this fall. We already got Oregon, we already got Washington, we already got Colorado. Okay? And we got at least 28 states that have medical marijuana. So let's get this popping, man. Let's get it popping, yo. There's cash flow out there. Get in on this. Get in on the ground floor so you can make your money work for you instead of you working for your money. You tuned into the Iceman Show, the Iceman Unchained. Holler at your boy.